Welcome to another episode of the Cannabis Coffee Crew, where the coffee is strong, the cannabis is smooth, and the conversations are out of this world.
Full squad in the house. I lower the pool when I do the cipher dance. When it's just Aggie Pants as I romance the blast. I take puffs on stuff, rough enough to give a buzz to my guns, even though we don't touch the stuff. See this blood in my foot, some say my stink. But yo, the skunk helps me think, helps me think, helps me.
What's up, everybody? It's Who here, and welcome back to another Friday here at the Cannabis Coffee Crew, where we're high and caffeinated. Nuke, man, what you got going on? What you got over there with yourself?
Oh, not too much, man. I'm just chilling today, like you said, a little caffeinated. I'm drinking some sweet tea this morning, like a southern staple. And I've had a gummy this morning, so I'm ready to rock and roll, yo.
Feel that?
Folk, how you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing good. Just finished chapter 36 on the book the other day.
Nice.
Working on 37, so I'm feeling great.
Hell yeah.
And I'm still smoking on that grape pie hoe. Good old grape pie hoe. And living large with my Folgers.
I heard that, man.
So let's touch in with Pandar. Pandar, how are you?
I got Snickers creamer. Although the last few days I've had to deal with Kit Kat, and because
Ugh.
they substituted it in my order, and I was not okay with that.
Understandable.
Snickers is way better. Hit the student glass quite a few times, which is why I'm brain farting.
You all right over there? You zoning out.
It's
She's
time
like,
to
what dimension?
Maybe we
am
should
I
turn
in?
cameras on or something.
no, it's
This
time.
is funny.
Hush your mouth. No, it's time to pack the bong again for sure. But Itsu, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. I've added some more songs to the album. It's like 8 now on there.
Word.
I'm going through, finish mixing that up. I have some ramen noodles in front of me and a cup of some anejo tequila. Some
Hey, watch your mouth.
hey, whoa.
A nay is not a hoe.
Depending on what time you call her.
Ramen and tequila
Yeah,
for
man. That's
brunch.
yeah, dude. That's brunch of champions right there.
That's impressive.
I heard Mike Tyson won his title fight off of that diet.
Let's go.
All right, so what are we talking about today,
Oh, dude.
Games.
Oh yeah, you mentioned you had some game news that you wanted to bring up, Yitsu.
Coffee's good.
I did. I guess I do. Black Ops.
Man, you're the one who said I
Dude,
could talk
know.
about game news.
I didn't expect it. But,
This is what a tequila ramen brunch
dude, this tequila's killing me now.
results in.
This is what happens.
You see, what had happened was
Yeah, dude. I was
What
gonna,
happened
what was that
was
song? I was gonna bring up game news, but then I got drunk.
Hey. How about what about like these allegations of voter fraud or like these election scandals?
I did.
Anyone read anything on those?
I did hear they were burning ballot boxes when people were voting. I don't know what came of that. I don't know if they actually like were burning. I heard it was like a Russia like operation where they was like gonna bomb ballot places. It was crazy. This whole
I
election
don't
is
know.
fucked.
there's election fraud every year.
Yeah.
Let's just get that going.
Oh yeah.
Dead people always vote. So, I mean, their votes are heard more than ours.
I mean, I think it'd be cool if even after dead we could vote. That'd be amazing.
What?
I'm saying if it was a possibility.
Well, I think we're
I'm
gonna
not
have
talking
to.
about fraud.
I think we're gonna have to start doing
Arrogant.
that. I think our spirits are gonna have to stay here because we can't afford to die these days. Like we're gonna have to work in the afterlife, homie.
Okay. I found it. So CNN
Well,
writes.
they're trying to figure out how to make us
Uh-oh.
not die, like to trap our consciousness in a
Oh,
computer. Sorry, Itsu, I
no, you
went
good.
so far off that
Nah,
topic.
you good.
Please,
We can
please
circle.
let's correct correct the course.
Nah, we're good. We can circle around and back to that. So CNN has reported on these burning ballots, and it's what they're saying here. So, in Vancouver, Washington, almost all the ballots were damaged or destroyed in a drop box. While most ballots in a drop box in Portland, Oregon, survived a fire that was set the same day, and that was on Monday. I believe
It-
October 8th was also
This is so childish. Like, why have our elections turned into a fucking playground fight?
It is. It's wild.
because it's all about them egos, man.
How are people so easily burning these boxes?
That's my question. Like, who is like? There's no one like watching the ballot drop box. Like, they don't have a security guard, a parking security dude.
I got an idea for future elections. They should just you need to go to a police precinct. Okay? Just walk in the
Mm.
door. Yeah, I'm here to vote. Because no one's going to act out if the jail cells are right around the corner. Like, is this what we got to do? Like, this is crazy that we can't just peacefully go do our civic duty, vote, and then go home. Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand why every year it turns into this massive clown fest.
For sure. It's
So
just the election is a sad day for America these days, and
yeah,
it's
I said every year, every 4 years.
I didn't even
it
notice that.
feels like it's
Let
every
me fix
year.
that. Let me just correct that.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like it was just an election and then just an election. Dude, time goes so fast when you're old.
Yeah, true.
It really does.
Listen
I
to
know.
this. About 475 damaged ballots were retrieved from burned ballot boxes in Vancouver, Washington. And then,
Well, hopefully they find out who did it and they
Or
serve
charged
justice.
appropriately.
well, they
Yeah.
found devices were found at both scenes on Monday at the ballot box targeted earlier in the month were marked with the words "Free Gaza." Now,
Oh my goodness.
if if I'm smart enough, I would say it is someone that's pro-Palestine. Um,
Or it just was put there to look that
yeah,
way
it
and
could have been that too.
distract.
Could have been that too.
These were devices on the boxes?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying
Why wouldn't they have been removed?
an incendiary device was found attached to the side of the ballot box when Portland police responded to the fire at about 3:30 a.m. on Monday.
Jesus.
Hmm. I mean, honestly, you can go on the internet and figure out how to make whatever you want to make.
I mean, this
All
just
kind of
goes
stuff.
back
So is
to
this like somebody
supporting.
I'm trying to understand the scenario or how it happened. So so somebody did they like go in to vote?
No, I think so. What it is they had a way for you to vote where you can drop your ballot off, and
Uh-huh.
then the ballot workers would come pick up.
Oh, I see
So
what you're
like
saying. They just
Yeah, like the
targeted
early.
like a mailbox.
yeah,
Got
kind
it.
of thing.
But do you know what would solve this?
What?
The whole idea of turning voting into more of like something done online. You can renew your license on like there's so many government things you can do online. We can file our fucking taxes online.
I know.
You can get all
A
your
lot of
money from us online.
a lot of people would say it's easier to defraud people that way of their vote. But I think you
Here we
could
are so
certainly build a
happy to deal with
system that was
I guess,
like super transparent.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, you're good. I guess my only concern, not concern, I guess worry rather, would be someone coming up with like a fake website, pretty much. Now, I'm not saying that we'd fall for that, but there are people out there that would be like, "Oh, here's the website," and then just go and just fill out a fake ballot. that never gets casted or never gets counted. I can see
Yeah, I
that happening.
mean, there's definitely a lot of different tactics that people would use, I think, but that happens in the physical world too, in the form of burning
You kn
ballot boxes.
Well, not even that, but even, like, yeah, that's something that's dealt with, but yet we still there's fake websites that, like, disguise themselves as a DMV or, like, a website where you can go renew your license.
Hmm.
They have fake websites set up that are very similar, and shit, thought ran away. It's coming back. Hold on. But they've got scam websites that already trick you, and then, like,
Yeah.
I've dealt with one before, I reported it to my bank, it was taken care of, everything was fine, but years ago, just not checking the website and then
I
found
mean,
the
I
right one.
I think it's as simple as it would become one of those things that is like everyone knows to dial 911 if you are in an emergency situation and you need help, right?
Like,
At
there's gonna
least in
be
this
trial and
country, it's
error.
911. But everyone knows this. Elderly people, everyone. So if there was a simplified website name that you knew, right? I mean, rather than clicking a link or whatever that could send you to a fake,
Pres.gov. Done.
Press.gov.
well, like a something that sounds legitimate and something that is legitimate and everyone memorizes it, right? And I don't know, not much different than 911 in my mind. But
USA.gov. Bam.
yeah, there you go. Freedom.gov.
For
Yeah, for
democracy.
democracy.gov.
No, but I certainly think there's always going to be people that are trying to figure out how to manipulate results, whether it's in a digital space or it's in a physical space. I think you could certainly build a system that is at least transparent enough that shady business is very easy to identify and could be rectified or dealt with accordingly, right? Like, what did we say earlier? How many dead people voted this year? Does anyone know?
Oh.
Not
Right,
yet.
but in an online system, it could literally check
Hmm.
that individual's uh, like date of birth or records on the fly and say no, invalid.
Hmm.
I'm just saying.
There could
I,
definitely be more checks put in line.
Oh yeah.
well, and then you make a dashboard that is accessible to the public that shows real time voting results, right?
Yeah, I don't trust
Unbiased.
watching the news and
Yeah, like, why doesn't the government have an app? This could be just done and dealt with if the government had an app.
Yeah.
Then there's no faking that shit. There's no website that's got, like, just make a fucking app for yourself, government. You got the money.
no.
Now, as a fallback plan, we can always keep this approach in the back of our, this strategy written down somewhere in case the electricity goes out and never comes back on one day.
Right.
But,
Oh.
but I think
Solar flares.
a lot of things would slow down if that were to ever be the case, and there needs to be a contingency plan. But I certainly think while we have the means, we should utilize them to the best of our abilities. And our current system in place sucks.
It does.
Oh, sure.
For sure it does. I mean, honestly,
I don't know why we don't wear the wigs anymore. That would at least make it more
Because
entertaining.
they itchy.
better put some powder under that son of a bitch. Get to wearing it right now.
I'm just saying,
I
dude. Next
agree.
time, if I ever have to go to court again, I want to dress up like that, please.
Come dressed up like
Good.
Ben Franklin.
Yeah, man.
George Washington. That's our son's favorite.
A.
Every answer to every question is like, who did this? Who signed this? George Washington. Who did it? George Washington.
He idols George Washington. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, dude, that was Abraham Lincoln.
I don't think that
George
was right,
is George Washington.
sir. He's like, nah, I'm gonna rewrite history. It's gonna be George Washington everywhere.
Pretty much.
Oh man, I will say it was a good election. Um, it was very entertaining to see people, especially the Democrats, just lose their mind and then watch the Republicans celebrate like they just won the biggest war of their life. It was great. It was very entertaining. Um, I respect Donald Trump winning. As much as I don't prefer it, I all I can do is respect it. And my only thing about Kamala is that she just joined the race too late.
You know what Amanda said to me?
What?
The best part about Donald Trump winning the presidency
Mhm.
is that he can never run again.
That is the best part.
That's literally I
That's the best part. Unless he pulls some weird strings, that's the best part.
no, there are no fucking strings he can pull. That's the law. You not no. No, 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 no. This is it. He can't do this shit again. We're done. After
Mhm.
these 4 years, fucking deuces, dude.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think the whole election came down to the fact that I think the American people, by and large, are just tired of the way the Democrats are running things. I don't necessarily think it comes down to the individuals themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because there was no happy ending in this election, and that was my biggest problem with it. Oh fuck, I had something really
Where's the
sad.
AO? That's messed up. Every time I say stuff like, where's the happy ending in this election? And people, by the way, keep calling it an erection all over Reddit. So that's even funnier.
Let's just get a wellness check on Nuke.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say nukes Mia.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see,
It's okay.
or
He'll be
he's
back.
muted and didn't realize it, and he's AO'd you like 10 times.
Yo, probably went ham on the AO.
That would be funny.
Offloaded so
No,
many
but
AOs.
for real, it just really sucks that we're stuck with two choices, and it comes down to red and blue, and this is all that we have to choose between. We really need to move past that as a country.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. But there's nothing really unless we as a society stand up and be like, all right, for real, let's change it. Ain't nothing gonna change.
You're
And
not
like
wrong.
you said, you respect that Trump's president. I don't respect. I have to accept it, but I do not respect it.
I mean,
I respect
It
it
just is what it is.
in the fact of like they Democrats. I don't even would say Democrats, but just like the government in general tried a lot to keep him from winning and running, and he just kind of just sidestepped all of it. So I was just like, it's nothing but respect. And like I hate like I didn't vote for him. I don't want him in office. He's too old, in my opinion. He's too old, and
How long is he gonna wear that band-aid on his ear?
I don't even
Like,
think
you
he
know
wears
that
it.
shit
I
was
don't even.
healed how long ago?
Yeah, I've
It's sympathy for now. Like, quit
I've talked to
crying.
people. They don't
QQ.
believe that assassin.
QQ.
Yeah, people don't believe that assassination attempt was truly real.
I mean, to be fair, if it was real, um, his ear would have probably had to have been sutured,
Yeah,
and it's quite possible that he either covers it to be on camera, right,
he wears a
or
fake ear.
keeps it covered to prevent infection. But when you are older, it does take longer to heal,
Yeah,
or it could be because it never happened. That is a possibility. And so
I'm just saying.
I don't know. Only
Like,
time will tell. If there's a scar on his ear in the future,
now we're gonna
then
have
it
whoever spray
potentially happened.
paints him orange every morning paint on a
mhm,
scar.
mhm.
Maybe. But one day they forget, it's over.
Facts.
True.
We're watching your ears, Trump.
We watched you.
Here, I'm going to do another sound effect. It's Jover.
All right, I'm gonna need that clipped when we're doing edits, please and thank you.
No,
Nuke. The fuck did you disappear
I
to?
think that gummy hit
that
too hard.
dude. He
That
just
gummy he was
phased out of
talking about.
reality.
He's sleeping in his chair right now.
Yo, what? He had his camera on like
Maybe.
5 minutes ago.
He did. He turned it on, then he turned it right back off.
Dude,
To show how high he was before he passed out.
we had evidence.
Oh, it's funny.
How do you guys feel about AI like pretty much taking over the video game industry?
I don't know. I don't feel one way or another about it. I think humans are resistant to change, but there's always going to be people looking for a way to streamline, to make things easier, to make things more, just essentially make us work less but achieve more, right?
Mm.
Because I mean, from a business perspective, that's always a positive. So that's how we're programmed to think. And I think it's just it is what it is. And it's going to keep getting worked on. It's going to keep getting improved. And it's going to revolutionize everything that we do
Yeah,
because it can emulate us.
yeah. I don't think I have a real big issue with it. I would I don't know, it's such a weird thing cuz like you can use AI for anything. Like I
Mhm.
in terms of just AI in general, wish it was only kept to like solving problems in terms of like medical and maybe environmental, but to help create something, it just kind of, I guess it takes the space of originality away in some way. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I know people that use AI to make beats, to make music. I
Hmm.
know some people that use AI to help make art. Now, if it helps you make art and you're still doing a lot of the originality to, or adding a lot of the originality to it, and you're just using AI to kind of like clean it up, then that's fine. But if you're
Yeah.
gonna you sit there and tell AI like, all right, paint me this picture of this, and then you come in and just kind of like add a filter to it, come on, dude, for real? Like, are you?
Well, I think that's just a matter of being an honest person.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't necessarily think it's wrong if you're honest about it. If you go in and you fiddle with AI and you describe a picture that you want to see, and you say, "Hey, I made this with the help of AI," that's fair. It is what it is. I think it's
mhm,
just a matter of being honest about it, right?
yeah,
Um, but if you use AI for inspiration, so say you're like, "Man, I want to draw this thing, and this thing has, like, I know I want a dragon in it." So you say, "Hey, AI, give me 10 different images, right, of various viewpoints, whatever, of dragons."
yeah,
And then you go off and you draw your own, but you've used that for inspiration. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all, right? Um, like that's literally the equivalent of reading Shakespeare and becoming inspired by Shakespeare,
yeah,
or going to a castle in Scotland, falling in love with it and writing a children's fantasy novel from it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that
yeah,
To
that
me,
can
it's no
be
different.
going and looking up a bunch of different landscape pictures to get ideas on how you want your landscape to look.
Right.
yeah, yeah,
There's a difference between inspiration and straight up
Oh, look, I made this on
alleging that
AI,
you
but
did
I
something that was definitely not done by you.
right. You're putting it out as I did this all by myself.
Correct. Yeah.
hmm,
I think that's the big distinction.
okay, I like that.
And I mean, I think,
No, because if you
I mean,
actually,
everybody remembers Clippy, right?
Yeah,
we've all seen AIs fit
Clippy was the
hands.
shit, right? And nobody was up in arms about Clippy. I don't think people were foaming out the mouth about Clippy helping them when they forgot to put an apostrophe in a, you know, uh, in their sentence or something. I don't see it as being much different. So AI being integrated into tools like Word and stuff like that It's just a means of enhancing what we already do,
Which, mind you,
and it's
try
a
and
tool
use
to
those
help us
things.
be more creative or to get the creativity we do have
Mhm.
out easier.
They suck. They can't do shit on their own. I'm just being real.
Yeah.
They have to be force fed millions of fucking
I
things just to get something.
I also think we're a long way away from that. I wish Nuke was back for this. But remember when we asked it to make a Caucasian female or like a blonde, and it literally drew an alien?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah, I remember
wasn't
that.
even human.
Yeah.
I think we're a long way away from people not being able to recognize what was actually generated by AI.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. We're a long way off from that. So it's if people are just honest about it, then it doesn't matter. But I don't see it I don't see it as a negative thing, and then I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think the right way to utilize the tool is for inspiration, not for copying.
Nah, you know, when it came to like my mom wanted me to use AI when I was trying to come up with designs for like my card game that I was gonna make. And I was
Yeah.
just like, Mom, like I get it, it's helpful, but like it just I don't wanna I guess it's a like a social aspect to me that like put me off from using it because I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, this card kind of looks like this from this game," and then now it's just like people are assuming that I have no creativity or like I just wanted to steal someone else's work and try to make it. And I was like, well, no, like that's it's a weird gray area because it hasn't. I guess and it's because it hasn't been fully accepted by everybody in
Yeah.
that way yet.
But here's the you know the kicker. You get to decide what ultimately goes into your card
And
game.
that, and that is
So
true.
if it does produce something that you're like, "Whoa, dude, that looks way too much like something I've seen from some other game.
Hmm.
That's not what I see in my head. Redraw that thing like this is what I see in my head for this thing." It will take your feedback in, produce something else, and I don't necessarily think that's bad, right? Like almost everybody, their creativity
Hmm.
is inspired by something in the natural world,
Yeah.
something around them. So if it produces something that you're like, "Holy crap, that really is the thing I see," and you wanna use it for your game, then, I mean, you're not violating a copyright because it's not something that looks like it. I guess where I'm going with it is you have the final say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's where the line gets drawn. If people are using AI to produce things that look like a Pikachu or something along those lines, they should get called out for it.
Yeah.
"Hey, buddy, that thing's not original. What are you doing?" You know? Um,
No, I agree. I agree.
but you can say, like, "That's not what I want." Like, the tail's all wrong, the ears are all wrong, the size of it's all wrong. Like, you can tell it to fix those things, make those adjustments. Utilizing a tool to generate something that inspires your other creativity, or just saying, "Hey, I wanna use this as a card for my card game." Whatever. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You're still gonna have to add the text and all the other stuff to the card
Hmm.
because it's terrible at text. There's a lot of other things you're gonna have to do. That just speeds up one part of the process, and I think developers are already doing that
Yeah.
everywhere because we got too much shit we gotta do.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're like I think with Power World, I think they used AI to generate some of the pals that they have in the game, and that was
Yeah.
one of the big issues. Is like, oh, they're just copying. They're using AI to make these cheap looking designs and just edit them slightly to get past it because they ended up getting past it a little bit. It was more of like swept under the rug by people on the
Yeah.
internet or by players.
Well, I would ultimately say that kind of showcases how much people care ultimately,
That too. That too.
right? I don't people didn't care. They said, "Hey, it's like kind of like Pokemon but from a different like in a different light. It's interesting. I like it. Whatever." I mean, mm, I think that whole thing's is going through court now. Nintendo and Pocket World or whatever, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, Pocket. The game is Power World.
Pocket
Yeah,
Pair.
Pocket Pair's the studio.
Yeah, sorry, not Pocket World. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, Nintendo waited and they got everything in place and went after them.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what's going to happen if you copy somebody's idea, they're going to call it out and they're going to take you to court for it and a judge is going to determine whether or not you owe them lots of money. But people are going to use the tool
Mhm.
because it just speeds up everything.
Yeah, it speeds the process up a lot.
Well, even as an artist, if you don't put your name on an AI generated image, but you take an AI generated image and you use it to see that picture in your head. I mean, that's
What
writer's
is
block and things like that. It, it's I know what I want to say,
Mhm.
but I'm not quite sure how to describe the thing I'm seeing in my head right now. So as a
Yeah.
tool, it can remove those barriers, right? If you're like, man, I see a dragon, but it's fuzzy. And you're like, I see a dragon that's kind of like this and like that. And you tell AI to generate something and you look at it and it removes that barrier and that picture in your head becomes clear. And then you turn around and you draw the thing you're seeing. You've done nothing wrong. That's what I mean by
Yeah.
inspiration, right?
Yeah. And that's mainly like what I would want people that create stuff to use AI for. I wouldn't want them to lean on it as the main like, all right, cool, it made me this, I'm gonna use this and just keep moving with it. It just
no? It's like, okay, I need a synonym for the word
yeah.
fluid.
That's a crazy word to use as an example.
No, because after like that's the thing. After writing it 100 times, you're like, "Fuck! I've written the word fluidly. How many different? Oh shit! How do I say that
Yeah.
differently?"
It's really hard
Yeah.
to come up with creative ways
Yeah.
to say the same word 10 million times.
And then, if you need AI for that, then that's fine. But like if
I
you
don't need it. It just speeds up a process.
yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
oh.
Uh-oh.
Why did Kevin
Uh
get
oh.
kicked from the Discord?
I don't know. It's fine. It's because we're not active in it right now.
Oh, that
So it's not a big deal.
Oh, it's true.
was that
It's
Nuke
it's
I heard?
perfectly fine.
Oh, I thought I
What?
heard Oh, yeah.
Nuke is
Where
back.
you
Oh my
been?
goodness.
Sorry, I had a little bitty something I had to do. So
Nah, you good, you good. You just wanted to make sure you was alive over there and didn't phase out of reality.
Yeah.
nah, nah,
Last I
nah.
recall was to talk about gummies, and
You popped
then
up,
you went quiet.
talked, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
am
buddy.
super high. I got baked yesterday, and then I woke up still high as a bitch,
And got baked again. Love it.
and then I took another gummy. Like,
Yeah.
We were just now talking about AI and people using it to say they did something, but using AI and claiming it as their own versus
Oh, like putting their name on something AI generated
Yeah.
versus using it as a tool. I mean,
to
I
right
think
for
used as a tool, it's
inspiration.
great.
I
And I
think
think for certain things, it could be. Sorry, go ahead.
I think once you give it enough information, it can still technically be yours while it not being yours. Like you put in the work to feed it the information it needs to come out on something you just don't know the right way to say it.
Yeah. I mean, I get your argument.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Also, I mean, technically, yeah, given enough input parameters, it's kind of your own custom thing, irregardless.
Yeah.
So it can still truly be unique. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think eventually the world's going to accept that that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just a
irregardless of the arguments
thesaurus.
back and forth, I do believe that humans are like electricity. It sounds wild. Electricity takes the path of least resistance. So that's what I mean when I say that phrase. Humans will do whatever is easiest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as AI gets better and better and smarter and starts making less mistakes, people are going to go, "Oh, I can actually use this. Oh, this is what I want for my banner for their website. Make it, these are the parameters, generate me a picture. Give me an image. This is what I see."
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do it. I think it's going to happen. And I think it's going to be used to expedite marketing. Um, I don't know. I just think eventually everyone's going to adopt it, and the argument will die as people age.
Now, will AI take over the world?
Mm,
I think it's going to be a really good sidekick. Is ultimately what's going to happen, because I think there's always going to be people freaked out about the possibility that it could take over the world.
Dude, we've all seen Terminator.
Yeah.
oh God, yes.
You were about to say something, Itsu. I'm sorry if I cut you off.
Nah, I wasn't about to say anything.
I
Oh.
actually haven't seen Terminator.
What?
Bro.
Well, you should see it.
Use
But
why?
you know the gist, correct?
No.
Who are
What?
you?
I'm an alien.
For
I
real, you're
got to be.
booted. I'm
Well,
banning
Skynet
you,
is
dude.
like some artificial intelligence thing that controls like everything, and it controls the military or something,
They can
and
like
it
time
turns on
travel.
humans,
Uh,
Mm.
Weird.
and it controls these humanoid robots that are the Terminators. And yeah, they follow one of the rebel people back in time.
To kill him.
Yeah. Well, to stop them from, well, oh right, Terminator, the first Terminator. The first Terminator, yes. I'm sorry. They go back in time to kill, I forget the name
Yeah, I can't
of
remember her
the
name. It's been
person.
so long since I've seen the first one.
And then there's another one where a Terminator goes back in time to like stop the Terminator.
Yeah,
It gets
Terminating
wild.
the
yeah,
Terminator.
yeah.
It does. It gets
And then
wild.
it just goes. Honestly, I think it just goes down that rabbit hole. Like it's just a Terminator going back to destroy another Terminator from destroying the.
Isn't that how all the sequels go? They never make sense, but it's like, why did we keep this going? The first one was
Money.
fine. Money.
Money,
Don't
money.
quote me.
So, kind of circling back to the allegations of voter fraud, this stems off of that.
Okay.
Social media's role in spreading misinformation.
I mean, 100%, because everyone's in social media daily, and the more they see something, the more likely they are to believe it.
I don't.
100%.
Yeah. It. Yeah. Social media has become one of those things that's just used to spread misinformation, a bunch of propaganda, and really it's targeted. I think it's targeted towards like kids, like teenagers. They're the most impressionable, so like why not target those people to fall in line with our rhetoric, with our
Yeah.
You do know that basically all of the reels and the short video type things, like TikTok and all that, were purposely created to shorten attention span
it works.
and to make critical thinking like reduced.
Yeah, I can see that.
Them short ass videos piss me off because they don't give me enough info.
Precisely.
For
I do not
kids,
watch
they're
them
addicting.
because there's literally nothing that's going to be learned from it.
Yeah.
Like the little tricks, tips, whatever. I don't know. I don't feel like I need to learn those things. I
No.
like learning things that are outside of my day-to-day world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I do fall into the trap of watching like some short videos if it's like people falling down or kids falling off bikes or something like
Yeah, I
that.
watched
Like,
some dumb shit.
yeah, I'll watch that
World
real
star.
Well,
stupid shit.
over time, if that is what you're consistently doing, you will start to notice that a video that is longer is harder for you to stay focused on.
Now, would that
And
count
like that's the
towards
problem with our youth today.
Yeah, I
would
can
that
see that. Yeah.
would that count towards TV shows? Because like I can watch a TV show, like I can binge a TV show. I don't know. I just at least from like in my perspective, the only person that's really affected by it is my son. Like like he comes back from his grandma's and he's just his attention span is like 2.5 seconds. You can't get him.
Squirrel.
Yeah, you just can't get him to sit still or like
Yeah.
actually critically think about anything. And I'm like, dude, there's no way that your brain is not.
So my son's like that, but then every now and then he'll do really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Like when he was younger, he would just lay down on the ground with one of his Hot Wheel cars and he would just roll it back and forth. We had like pergo flooring, which is
Vinyl. Vinyl
uh
or it's a vinyl flooring is what
it's
it's
the
called.
snap together stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But he's laying on that and he'll just sit there for a long ass time, just rolling a car back and forth,
Watching how
watching the
the
wheels
wheels
and
turn.
stuff. Like when something interests him,
Yeah.
he can get immersed in it. But when it doesn't really pull his attention well, he's all over the place. He's just
Hmm.
wild. I don't know.
100%.
Not too sure.
He can't stay still and like trying to have a conversation with him. He's like always looking everywhere, trying to jump
Yeah.
around, can't fidgeting. And Kevin's always like, "Bro, you don't know what to do with your hands? Hold them together in front of you. Stand still. Pay attention. Listen."
Yeah, that's what I have to do. I'm like, dude, you walk away when I'm trying to talk to you. Where
He will walk away from you while he's talking to you, and you're like,
yeah.
"You we've told you how sound works."
Yeah. Yeah, my son came into the living room. I'm watching TV and he was telling me how like he saw this bug and completely just walks into the kitchen. And just still talking, still having this whole conversation about a bug he's seen. And I'm like, dude, I can't even hear you. You're like 30 feet away. Please come back. He'll come back, he'll talk, and then he'll slowly start like creeping away back into his room. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, man. Yeah, that was yeah, that was a good conversation. And I just get because it's like, dude,
I give up.
why?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. One day it'll click.
One,
One day they'll be like, why don't they ever respond to me? Well, because we can't hear you.
dude, you're halfway across the house. Of course, I'm not gonna respond. Like, I'm not. No. Yeah, it's a hoot. It's a hoot.
That's funny. Yeah, I think I don't know. Technology is a blessing and a curse.
Well, speaking of social media, how about this? You guys heard of the dead internet theory?
I
No.
don't know this theory.
So the dead,
Please elaborate.
yeah, the dead internet theory, practically or pretty much says that the people you see on the internet, like say you're watching a video, you check the comments, most of those comments aren't real people. They're just bots that were made to give the idea that the internet is more packed than it really is, or is being used more than what it really is. Um, it's not saying that like your friends aren't real, that you actually went to
Are
school
you
with.
real?
I mean, am I?
I don't know.
I
Are
mean,
you?
I don't know. This is kind of
Ah.
leading to the whole theory of like the conspiracy that we are just a simulation.
Yeah.
TJ, are you real?
See, I don't know. I feel like I am, but then again, like, I also think like all the people you don't interact with could be a simulation around you. Because I mean, you don't interact with them, you don't know.
I poke me, I
Well,
bleed.
how do I open the admin console of the
That's my
simulation?
question. I will say I always wondered, like, I'm sitting here at my
Oh,
desk talking to
can we
you
get a
guys,
currency mod?
currency mod. Like, I was sitting here at my desk, I'm talking to you guys, but like,
But
is
are
the
you?
rest of the world still like there? Like,
Oh,
does it
that's
only appear when I get in my car and drive? Does the mall, like, does the rest of the mall only open up until I like go?
isn't that like the same as that one
But that's kind of like
adage that's like if a tree in the woods falls,
Does it make a
does it
sound
make a sound?
if nobody's around?
well, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
and the answer is yes.
Does it? Do you know?
It does. If you were to put a camera out there, it would record it.
Of course it would. It knows there's a camera.
It, bro, I will slap you.
Are you
Yeah, so
you
here's the
saying it's
reason.
not living?
No, it is a living being, and I do
Exactly.
believe that trees are like the oldest beings on our planet. That and
So
fungi, which is
why
why
would
they're all
anybody
interconnected.
know?
But I do not believe it would just make a sound or not make a sound. That's not how sound works. It's sound is a vibration.
Yeah,
Is a physical
Yeah, but
thing.
but you can have vibration
but it's
without
the
sound.
same adage. And you can always argue
Harmful
that,
sound.
oh, well, they're just super geniuses and everywhere there's cameras, they also just allow some in some spatial area around the camera it to actually play out as if though it were real. I mean,
You can
you
go
can
down this
argue it back
skinny
and
line.
forth
You're right. Yeah.
for forever because there is no valid answer.
It's the
Once you
Hunger
get to a
Games.
certain maybe,
We're in an
maybe,
arena.
maybe.
Bro, can I get to the end?
This is
No.
I hope Trump is not our gladiator.
this is
That's
just
all
a
I'm
Oh,
sim.
saying.
I'm saying this is just a sim.
We're
We're just a
screwed.
sim person.
Call President Macho.
President Macho. President Macho. That was a
let's
good movie.
go.
You know, I
Yeah.
didn't know nothing about that peanut story until yesterday.
Yeah.
But that peanut shit kind of pissed me off.
Oh, it
Yeah,
does.
likewise,
Yo,
dude.
rest in peace, my man.
We literally immediately looked up if it was legal if we could own a squirrel.
We can't.
No.
Ah,
But
I'd
that
like to
still
have a
doesn't
squirrel.
change. Like,
You know
okay,
what else we can't own?
wait.
A kangaroo.
Well, hold on. So, like, I
That's
get
because
it
them
to a
them
motherfuckers are
certain.
mean.
motherfuckers.
I get it to a certain degree, right? Like, if everyone's out here going, "I want to own a squirrel," like people are gonna go try and capture squirrels and shit and keep them in their homes, and like it's just gonna turn probably not great. And then people are gonna start trying to sell squirrels as pets to other people.
Bro,
And
then
I
we're
think they
gonna
just want
genetically
to
mutate them.
Well, I think they just want to avoid all of that. But in a circumstance like that one, where the squirrel was injured or something as a baby and a human saved its life and it became attached to that person, I think you let it stay there and live its life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, we're not encouraging trading squirrels, but for the state to take it away and euthanize it is just morally
Dirty.
fucked.
It's a yeah. That was kind of wrong. It was mad disrespectful. It,
I think it's just morally fucked, and I think people should be rioting in New York. Like that that kind of circumstance doesn't happen every day. It's not something that they need to fear is going to turn into some kind of shit show.
I'm not
And
gonna
it's
say they
not
should
as if
riot
though the
though.
squirrel was injuring anyone. It
They,
didn't do anything wrong, dude. It
they
just
could
was
they could
chill and
protest for sure.
living its fucking life. I don't know.
No
It's
rioting.
bullshit.
mhm.
We don't condone violence.
Well, I mean, if I
We
feel like
don't condone violence, sir.
I know. I'm just saying they historically they have rioted for less in the past.
Then they,
Like that's such a story of innocence being destroyed by the local government.
I just, I just like the whole story doesn't make sense. Like y'all just was like, oh, this person has a squirrel. We're gonna go take this squirrel. It's a menace to society.
Well, yeah, they took him because in the state you can't own a squirrel as a pet.
Okay, then just release the son of a bitch. Why I had to use the
Well, because releasing it is more cruel. This would be the argument. Releasing it is more cruel than or sorry, yeah, more cruel than euthanizing it because it's lived in captivity its whole life and it would
It would
end
have
up becoming
survived.
dinner for something.
Right.
That's just
So let's just put it down, which is more peaceful
But it
because it's
should have
more
just
humane.
they should have
Like
just
that would
left
be
it
the
the fuck
argument.
alone.
That's all I'm saying.
so. All I'm hearing is that it was gonna die either way, but I'd rather kill it
Yes, to be humane.
to be more humane.
That's what they do for everything.
Hmm.
Like every animal that's like in captivity that's not being willingly released into wildlife, but it's
Yeah.
being stripped away. I believe that's what happens.
Interesting.
I mean, it's wrong.
Yeah. That okay. That just doesn't make
They
sense.
could have like tried to find a sanctuary or
That's
something,
They
what I'm
could have
saying.
just left the squirrel where it was and asked the man to stop posting videos on YouTube.
promoting owning it.
Correct. That's all they had to
Okay. Yeah.
do, and then open a lawsuit asking him to take it down or something. Like say, "Hey, there's some legal ramification is gonna come of this because this is not allowed."
You can.
However, given the circumstances that the squirrel as an infant was injured and bonded with you and refuses to leave your home and would die out in nature, like keep living your life. I don't know. I feel like they should have left the squirrel,
There's
right?
a lot of different options they could have done to prevent having to kill a squirrel. That's just like they could have done a lot more than just kill a squirrel.
Well, especially if the thing was hurting people or something, I could maybe
I
understand
could see if they
how
had
it
like
could be
rabies or some
justified.
shit.
Right. But
It was
the
not
only
a danger
crime
to
was its
anything.
owner posting videos on YouTube
Right.
and popularizing ownership of a squirrel. That was the only crime that the squirrel didn't commit, but I guess it technically is not a crime. I think people can understand that not everyone's allowed to have a squirrel, but in this circumstance, they should be happy and it's okay. Like, why is it not possible for people?
Right.
I agree. I
Well,
agree.
that person has it, so I want to force it. I want to forcibly have it.
But like,
We
yeah,
got to stop thinking like that
basically they were like, "How dare you be a good person and save this squirrel and raise it and give it a happy life?"
and profit off of. I mean, to be fair, I believe he profited off of
Oh hell yeah,
videos
he's
with
on
the
YouTube.
squirrel
Yeah, he did.
because it's adorable, but that's still not a crime.
No, not at all.
I mean, America just needs to mind their own motherfucking business.
Yeah, I don't think Americans would have voted to put the squirrel down. I think
No.
Hell
the
no.
state of New York was proving a point,
He
but I
wanted to make
think
an
they're
example.
horrible monsters.
Facts.
That's what really changed the outcome of the election. Was Peanut the squirrel?
It did.
I'd like to know why.
Huh?
I'd like to know why.
Because it's the monsters of New York, and you know New York is all left and no right. So people saw it and they were like, the left are mean. They kill squirrels and went and voted for
To
Trump.
be fair, we did have to go north to go south when we drove through New York. So those allegations, I feel like, are accurate.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, no. I mean, it could have swayed to some degree. I
Nah.
thought it was heartbreaking, dude. I was instantly angry at the state of New York.
All I could do was just think of Harambe, yo.
Exactly.
Dicks out for Harambe,
Gotta have
Yeah, and nuts out for Peanut.
yeah.
all day, every day, till I motherfucking die. No.
I mean, that's the meme I saw on Reddit.
I seen someone post on Twitter. They was like, "When I die, bury me with my nuts out next to Peanut." I said, "What?" I was like,
Bro,
"Yo."
people are wild.
I I love the internet, dude. Sometimes you gotta just love
It's a
the
love-hate
internet. Yeah,
relationship.
Oh my
yeah,
god, it really is.
yeah. It's
It
days
can
like
be
those.
such a tool for good, spreading joy and laughter and humor, and
But
it can
also
equally
that
be a
fake news.
yeah, equally a weapon
Equal.
for misinformation and all types of other stuff. It's
Welcome to the internet.
The interwebs.
yeah.
The interwebs. I wonder what.
It's almost like when you sign on, it starts a movie of Saw. Do you want to play a game?
What?
That's the internet, good and bad.
Well, thankfully, I don't have to stick my hand in a saw blade to access the internet.
For
I'm very thankful
now.
of
For
this.
now,
I ain't doing that shit. I don't like to get
Nah.
hurt.
I don't even need the internet at that
Well, the alternative there is dying. So, at least in the terms of Saw.
I'll come to terms with it.
Well, I mean, in literally in one of the episodes, it was get cut with the saw blade or get pulled into the saw blades and then have your head cut off.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
haven't watched Saw since Saw 2. Can't watch those movies. I don't know what it is, but I just can't sit
I
through those
can't
movies.
either.
It's just too.
Oh, we love them. We've watched them over and over and over again.
I'll sit down and watch like Blair Witch. I'll sit down and watch all these paranormal, spooky ass movies. But you bring up Saw, oh, I got to go.
It's the goriness, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's what
It
we.
doesn't bother me
I
because I
think
know it's fake.
I think what I enjoy from the movies is all of the very clever traps,
Yeah.
all of the devices used to apply his retribution. Right? I think they're fascinating. So I think for me, that's why I enjoy watching it. It's more like watching somebody make a puzzle that people are solving,
Yeah.
and I think the writers behind it were
By
clever.
being honest about being pieces of crap people in their life. Because normally, like anyone who's in there did some
Oh yeah,
horrible shit.
and the touch of vigilante justice, as you just put it, yeah,
Yes.
makes it more compelling. But for me, my logical brain just finds it fascinating, all the different things, and then thinking about whether or not they're truly possible.
I used to think like there was someone actually like walking around kidnapping people and putting them in these predictions. Like I used to have dreams about it.
I'm sure there are some people that do that.
I'll wake up and be like, "Oh
Yeah,
my god, he's gonna get me!"
I wouldn't put it past it. Like the dark web exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird shit
Well,
out there.
yeah, you've got movies like Hostel and stuff, which are based on those things,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Saw is a little more, at least to me, it's a little more
Outlandish.
fantasy
Yeah.
because it's just too perfect. Everything goes too perfect. Everything is too perfect. But then to have these clever puzzles that people are solving, it's like watching a. To me, I could watch it as a cartoon and it would be just fine. Um, but movies like Hostel are designed to be way more realistic
Mm.
in terms of the scenarios.
Yeah.
Um, and those things actually happen. People get abducted, they get sold off for various
Yep.
reasons.
And I think that's why I like
Um,
the found footage scary movies a lot more because it simulates that realism.
yes and no. As
Yeah.
long as I can follow a good
Oh yeah.
story,
Oh, of course.
I'm down. But there's some that I've watched that are just
It's hard to pull off a footage movie. It's hard.
Oh no, we've watched tons of them.
and I think yeah, I think in a found footage acting is huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's and I don't think it's easy. But I think that's a big part of what makes them more successful. And then a good storyline, like some good plot that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best ones I've watched are like continuous shot,
Oh yeah.
and normally they're horror
Mm.
found footage.
Mm-hmm.
and like those can be pretty decent.
Like, I liked Blair Witch. I watched that, I remember as a kid, so many times. It would be a movie that I had in my room I remember sneaking on when I wasn't supposed to be watching TV.
Hey,
Right.
But Blair Witch was a good one, and as a kid, I believed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When I was younger, I
I
was like, oh, this really happened.
I don't do scary shit. Like
Yeah.
that's just one thing I don't do.
It's
When,
okay. The Care Bears are still out there, buddy.
yeah, no doubt, bro, no doubt. Fucking that's fine. But I got the shit scared out of me at a haunted house when I was like 5,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't
I
do
don't
that
do
shit no more.
I don't do haunted houses. In my town we have one. It's a locally owned one, and like my friends every year growing up in middle school always went to it, and I was like, y'all couldn't even pay me to go. Y'all couldn't even. I don't care what y'all could make me president right now. I would still not walk through that son of a bitch. It just wouldn't. It couldn't convince me. Couldn't convince me. I went through one time and literally almost peed myself. I had to go to the bathroom. So yeah, I just won't step into them. Won't not.
Yeah. For me, I just don't like putting myself in that situation. I don't like when people approach me aggressively.
Yeah,
I get angry, and I don't want to ruin the night. I don't want to fuck up somebody's
jaw.
job, jaw, whatever. I just keep to myself. I'll
Yeah,
play
when it comes
video
to fight
games
or
that are
flight,
scary,
he's a very fight person.
which
Understand?
is why I enjoy scary video games and movies and stuff like that, because like there's no opportunity to fight back, so it's literally just like, oh shit, I know this is coming, and then you jump, right?
Yeah.
And it's fun to me, because in the real world, I don't behave like that. I get mad. um
Well, for you, I think in the real world, it is you're just very distrusting of people, and it's just that's like very natural. So in that situation, you're like, I don't know if you're actually just trying to scare me or if you're a fucking creep who's going to try and kill me. Like your
Maybe.
brain is like, I'm not playing this game. I'm not taking the chance. My life could be in danger. I will kill you now
I ain't
before
risking
I die.
shit.
Right.
Maybe.
I
I don't
believe
know.
that.
So anywho, I don't go to those things.
Yeah, no. I'll be a
I,
part of it.
however, like I grew up on all of it. I liked haunted houses, and my love for horror is 100% my grandmother's fault.
Hmm.
Oh, I've been somebody who scared somebody in a haunted house before.
Yeah, I have.
And gotten run over by the trailer in the
Shh.
process.
I did, but I'm very resilient. It did
I'm
nothing.
very resilient.
Zero damage. It was a zero damage attack. I
You had
evaded.
your shield protected it.
Yeah. Nah, it rolled over my shin, and I turned my leg sideways, and it just went over. It didn't do nothing.
Nice. No damage.
And everybody's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." I just played it off like it was part of it was a haunted trailer ride. So they were like, and we were hiding out in the woods, and I ran out, and then I messed up and got my foot in front of the wheel, and it like caught me, and then I just went with it
Mhm.
instead of fighting it, and that was good. And then right after it rolled over me, I popped up and chased the trailer
That
like it
would have
was
scared
part
the
of the
fuck out
fun.
of me too.
Mhm.
Like, oh shit, he's just up.
But that only happened once because I would not have. That was not part of it, and like my shin was a little sore, but I don't know. There was no fracture or nothing bad happened.
Mm-mm-mm. You would have to get me off that trailer ride if I seen you get up and start sprinting. I'm like, oh hell no.
Oh no, it was funny though because on the other side of the woods that we were circling around were fields. I think they'd grow like hay or something out there.
Hmm.
Um, or I guess like wheat. I guess that's what hay is, right? Like
I don't
bundles
know.
of
Sure.
wheat. Anywho, it
I
was
am
like
not a
grown
farmer.
up a little bit on that side. So we had people hiding out in the grass, but you couldn't actually see it because of how tall it was. I
Hmm.
guess I'm just going to call it grass. And then we had people out in the woods, and then also out in the woods we had lights. So as soon as the tractor would pull up, the lights would kick on. There was like a little switch or something. The lights would kick on, and then we'd play out some scene from the woods before the person in the woods like turned to the people on the trailer and ran at them. And then people from the grass would stand up while it had their attention, right?
Hmm.
And would creep up on the trailer. So as soon as they started freaking from that, like the other people would, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good little bit.
Right.
A lot of people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I did not think of it though.
Hmm.
I think Josh did. It was pretty clever.
All right, that's where we're gonna call it for today, everyone. See you every Friday. Just remember, it's more than cannabis and coffee. It's a mindset. And whether you see us or hear us, you're part of the crew, and we want to hear from you. So make sure you reach out via X or Instagram, which you can find at our website, cannabiscoffeecrew.com. Um, Again, I'm Itsu, and I just want to say have a amazing Friday, amazing weekend, and peace.